I never thought I'd be telling this story, honey. Never in my wildest dreams did I think my own flesh and blood would look me in the eyes and plan my destruction. But here I am, 72 years old, sitting in this little apartment with nothing but the clothes on my back and the truth burning in my heart. My son, my firstborn, the boy I carried for 9 months, nursed through colic, watched take his first steps, that same son arranged to have me kidnapped. Not by strangers, mind you, by people he paid. People he trusted to make me disappear so he could take everything I'd worked 60 years to build. I'm from a small town in Missouri, raised during times when you learn to save every penny, work hard, and trust family above all else. That last part nearly killed me. My name's Dorothy, but folks call me Dot. I raised 3 children after my husband Henry passed from a heart attack when he was only 53. I worked 2 jobs, kept our little farm going, made sure every one of my babies had what they needed. My oldest, Richard, we called him Richie growing up. He was always the ambitious one, smart as a whip, could charm the birds from the trees. I was so proud when he went off to business school, first one in our family to get a college degree. He moved to Kansas City, started working in real estate, married a woman named Valerie who wore designer clothes and looked at our farmhouse like it was something stuck to her shoe. Over the years, Richie visited less and less. Always busy, always on some big deal. But I understood. That's what mothers do, right? We understand. We make excuses. We tell ourselves our children still love us even when they can't find time for a Sunday phone call. My other 2 kids, Sarah and Michael, they stayed closer to home. Sarah became a nurse. Michael took over running the farm equipment business in town. They had their own struggles, their own families, but they came around. They remembered birthdays. It was Richie who called me last spring with exciting news. He'd found an investment opportunity for the farm. Now, after Henry died, I'd somehow managed to hold on to our 140 acres. Wasn't easy, let me tell you. There were years I survived on canned vegetables from my garden and wondered how I'd pay the property taxes. But I did it. That land held every memory of my marriage. The oak tree where Henry proposed, the creek where we taught the kids to fish, the barn where we slow danced at Sarah's 16th birthday party with the radio playing. Richie said developers wanted to buy the land, said they'd pay good money, set me up comfortable for the rest of my days. He talked about senior living communities with gardens and activities, about how I deserved to rest after all my hard work. The way he painted it, I'd be foolish not to sell. And I was tired, honey. 71 years old and tired clear down to my bones. But something in my gut said, wait. Maybe it was Henry's voice, I don't know. I told Richie I needed time to think, needed to talk to Sarah and Michael about it. That's when everything changed. Richie got pushy, which wasn't like him. He started calling every day, then twice a day. Valerie got on the phone once, her voice dripping with fake sweetness, talking about how worried they were about me living alone, how I was getting forgetful. I wasn't forgetful. I could tell you every birthday, every anniversary, every important date in our family history. But she made me sound like I was losing my mind. Then Richie showed up at the farm with papers. Said he'd already arranged everything. I just needed to sign. I'd transfer the property to him temporarily, and he'd handle the sale, make sure I got the best deal. Something about tax benefits and legal protections I wouldn't understand. That's when I saw it in his eyes. Something cold I'd never seen before. This wasn't my little boy anymore. This was a stranger who saw me as an obstacle. I refused to sign. Told him flat out the land wasn't for sale, not yet, maybe not ever. He left angry, didn't even say goodbye. 3 weeks later it happened. I was coming home from the grocery store on a Tuesday afternoon, same as always. I pulled into my driveway, and there was a van parked near the barn. I figured it was someone lost, maybe looking for directions. Before I could even get out of my car, 2 men approached me. Big fellas, wearing work clothes. They said Richie had sent them. that there'd been some kind of emergency with the property, something about a gas leak. They needed me to come with them right away for my safety. Now, I'm old, but I'm not stupid. Something felt wrong. I tried to get back in my car, but they grabbed me. Not rough at first, but firm. One of them said, "Ma'am, your son is very worried about you. We're taking you somewhere safe." They put me in that van and I started screaming, but we're country out here. No close neighbors. Nobody to hear. They drove for hours. I kept asking where we were going, demanding they let me go. They wouldn't answer, just kept saying I'd understand soon. They took me to a facility. That's what they called it. Looked like some kind of care home, but it felt wrong from the moment we pulled up. Remote location, high fences, everything locked from the outside. A woman in scrubs met us at the door, all smiles, calling me Dorothy, like we were old friends. She said my family had arranged for me to stay there while they got my living situation sorted out. Said I'd been having episodes, getting confused, that it was for my own good. I tried to tell her I'd been kidnapped, that this was wrong, but she just patted my hand and said, "I know, dear. It's hard to accept when we need help." They took my purse, my phone, my car keys. Said it was facility policy. Put me in a small room with a bed, a chair, and bars on the window. For 3 days, I was locked in that place. They gave me medications I didn't need. Said they were calming me. I refused to take them. After the first day made me so foggy I could barely think. I found out later what was happening while I was trapped there. Richie had filed emergency guardianship papers, claiming I had dementia and couldn't care for myself. He'd gotten some doctor who never examined me to sign off on paper saying I was mentally incompetent. With me conveniently placed in care and unreachable, he started the process of taking control of everything. My bank accounts, my property, my entire life. But my Richie made one mistake. He underestimated his sister. Sarah had been trying to reach me, getting worried when I didn't answer my phone. She drove out to the farm and found it empty, my car gone, groceries I'd bought still sitting on the porch, spoiling in the heat. She called Michael, and together they called the police. Then Sarah did something brilliant. She called my lawyer, old Jim Peterson, who'd handled Henry's will. Jim knew me, knew I was sharp as a tack. He started making calls, demanding to know where I was, threatening legal action. When Richie's lawyer couldn't produce proper documentation or explain my whereabouts, Jim got a judge involved. It took 5 days total before Sarah and Michael found me. When they walked into that facility with a sheriff's deputy, I broke down crying. I'd spent those days thinking I'd die there, that nobody would believe me, that my own son had successfully erased me from my own life. Sarah held me while I sobbed, and Michael, my quiet Michael who never showed much emotion, he had tears streaming down his face. The investigation that followed exposed everything. The men who took me had been paid $5,000 by Richie. The facility was a private care home that had been cited before for accepting residents without proper documentation. Richie had forged medical documents, lied to lawyers, manipulated the system, all to get his hands on property worth nearly $2 million. When they arrested him, he actually tried to claim he'd done it for my own good. Said I was too old to manage the farm, that I was being stubborn. Even then, sitting in handcuffs, he couldn't admit what he'd really done. Couldn't admit he'd looked at his own mother and seen nothing but dollar signs. The legal aftermath took months. Richie pleaded guilty to kidnapping, fraud, and elder abuse. He got 4 years in prison, though he'll probably serve less. Valerie divorced him before the trial even ended. My lawyer helped me secure everything. My property, my accounts, my rights. I put it all in a trust now with Sarah and Michael as trustees. Nobody can touch it without their approval, even me. The hardest part wasn't the legal stuff, though. It was the grief. I spent nights crying for the little boy who used to bring me dandelions and call them flowers. the teenager who hugged me at his high school graduation and thanked me for never giving up on our family. Somewhere along the way, I lost that boy and never noticed he'd been replaced by someone I didn't know. Sarah asked me once if I'd ever forgive Richie. I told her the truth. I don't know if forgiveness is even possible for something like this. He didn't just try to steal my property. He tried to steal my existence, my autonomy, my final years of dignity. I'm still on the farm, still wake up to roosters and sunset over fields that have held 3 generations of my family. But I had to put up security cameras, change all my locks, get a restraining order against my own son. Sometimes I look at his childhood photos and wonder what I missed, what signs I overlooked. Other times I know there were no signs, just greed that grew slowly, quietly, until it consumed whatever love had been there. I'm sharing this story because I know I'm not alone. Elder abuse is happening everywhere, often by the people we trust most. If you're going through something similar, speak up. Tell someone. Don't let shame or disbelief silence you. And if you're a mother watching your children grow distant, trust your instincts. I may have lost a son, but I gained something too. The absolute certainty of who truly loves me. Sarah, Michael, and my grandchildren, they're my real family now. And every sunset I watch from my porch is sweeter because I'm watching it from home, from land that stays mine, earned through a lifetime of work and sacrifice nobody could take away.